What's up, Internet? Tim Fogarty, Ben Ferguson here. Welcome to another edition of our Weekly-ISH Roundup of important news in enterprise tech. We have a lot of great stuff to talk to you guys about today. We're kicking off the show talking Microsoft joining the Trillionaires Club.
That's right. And there's also rumors going around that Mitel might be looking to swoop up Avaya.
And AT&T's 5G network. Is it here yet?
I don't know. Then finally, you guys asked, we listened, and we want to break down the huge rise in robocalls here in America.
Buckle up, people. Let's go. Hello, Microsoft, and welcome to the Market Cap Trillionaires Club. I'm Tim Cook. This is Jeff Bezos. So, Microsoft, like I just said, joined two other legit companies and hit the $1 trillion market cap last week. Big news for them. The real big thing on kind of the driving factor behind hitting this big T, Ben, is kind of what are the big segments for them? Where did they make their money, and how are they going to keep this growing?
Yeah, sure. So, Xbox, operating systems, table stakes. Three big segments they're killing it at: Office 365, Dynamics 365, and Azure Infrastructure as a Service.
And digging into Azure specifically, Microsoft made $9.7 billion in revenue off of Azure last year, which is this is mind-blowing, it is a 41% increase from this time last year.
Damn!
That's a huge number, Ben. Why is it growing so much, and why is it growing so fast?
That's right. So cloud is growing, and Microsoft Cloud is growing within the cloud segment, right? That's a mouthful.
Gulp.
As we discussed on previous shows, Microsoft is taking a vertical approach to, killing it in retail, logistics, and not to mention they already have a huge market share on the licensing side that they're converting over to their cloud business. And, really, their licenses used to go on other people's hardware. Mm-hmm. Now that hardware is provided on Azure Infrastructure as a Service, so it's a win-win for Microsoft.
Well, I think it's safe to say, that, like we mentioned a few shows ago, the cloud's getting bigger. It's getting more important. If you're not there already, you should be. And it can be intimidating, I know. The good news is you need to have a well thought out cloud strategy. And I think I might know two guys who know how to do that. Fresh off the rumor mill, people, we got some interesting news behind Mitel looking to purchase Avaya for a very cool $2.2 billion. Ben, why don't you do us a favor and kind of tell everyone out there, what's going to happen here and, why are they looking at this?
So get ready for my long-winded explanation. So let's look in the past, right? Mitel bought a company called ShoreTel, another premise-based PBX system who had a killer net promoter score of 63. Okay. Post-acquisition, that's now at -8. So obviously things went downhill. Mm. Why? Because it's premise PBX system buying another premise PBX system, and the two don't talk, so they have to painstakingly migrate all the users off this one onto that one. That's what they've been doing over the last 2 years. And I can't imagine it's been a blast. Right, so now they're looking to buy Avaya. Mm-hmm. Net promoter score currently sitting at 53, so customers are liking them. Mm-hmm. And what would the plan be? Move their stuff to Avaya or Avaya's stuff to theirs? I don't know. I just don't love that as a integration.
Sounds messy, right?
It does.
Okay, so I guess tell everyone out there, what, in your opinion, what would be a good buy for Mitel?
Yeah, so if I had $2.2 billion in my bank, which I do.
He does.
I'd be looking at, 8x8. So they've been a Gartner Magic Quadrant leader in the UCaaS space for about 6 or 7 years running, and they currently have a market cap of $2.5 billion, and they're growing tremendously. Other than that, there's an emerging player named Fuse out of Boston. They're about to hit $1 billion in market cap. They have a killer UCaaS platform. And then Vonage is one we've been seeing, Vonage Business, not Vonage Residential, same company. They're at $2.28 billion in market cap, and they've been doing tremendous innovations around Salesforce integration, G Suite integration, Office 365 integration. We're really excited what they're doing in the marketplace.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if the board of directors from Mitel watches our video and takes some advice.
I think they will, Tim.
Yeah, and stay tuned later in the episode. We will be breaking down Ben's account and routing information.
Hey.
All right, people. Anybody else notice recently when you go to some certain parts of big cities, you notice a little 5GE logo in the upper right part of your phone? Spoiler alert. You've been fooled, I've been fooled, we've all been fooled.
AT&T rolled out 5GE, or 5G Evolution, which is really just 4G that I think is improved by about 5%. So no actual 5G capabilities of their network. And the funny thing is, AT&T's 5G network is still 30% slower than Verizon's LTE network.
Yeah, and kind of how all this came about, Sprint, they got all pissed off at AT&T about, naming their 5G network because Sprint has plans this summer to roll out their 5G network. So they take them to court and get all mad and say, well, you're ruining the customer reputation of 5G connectivity. And AT&T says, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And basically that kind of gets settled. No one knows the details of it. But long story short, people, we don't even really have 5G capability cell phones yet. They're just now starting to come out, right? So let's all be patient. Let's pump the brakes. The carriers are all putting out 5G networks this year. It will be badass, but we're not there yet. You asked, we listened. We've got a user-submitted question from Robert Frank from the CIO Forum. Robert had a fantastic topic for us to address. It's the rise of robocalls, specifically in the US. Ben, why don't you break down for everyone what are robocalls and kind of what's happening with them?
A robocall is an auto dialer driven phone call that's super annoying and spammy, right? They're trying to sell you things, or it's a pre-recorded message, or worse yet, a scam. Yep. So the rise in robocalls has really been driven by the lowering the cost of long distance rates due to voice over IP technology, coupled with the rise of AI and dialer software and soft switch technology that make things like caller ID spoofing possible.
What is that?
Is someone can be in India and have use a soft switch here in Los Angeles and have a 310 phone number when they call you, so you think it's a local person calling you, maybe that girl you gave your number to or something like that, or your neighbor's telling you your cat's outside, but boom, they're trying to sell you a ticket to Hawaii, and that's annoying.
Yeah, and like we said, it is a real thing. I mean, the US alone last year was hit with 26.3 billion robocalls. That's just in the US, people. It's a huge thing.
Yeah, and that's 46% more than the year before. So it's on the rise.
It's something that is a huge issue. Obviously, it's tough to do. Can people prevent this, and if so, how?
Yeah, so the FCC is trying to come up with solutions. The problem is the solutions are really hard, right? So they're saying that you can either self-report it using their complaint website, but they're allowing the providers or the carriers to kind of self-regulate. But I don't think it's going to happen because, for one, they're going to lose the money on the long-distance termination that these spammers are paying them. And two, the cost of building out the transcription and machine learning technology to really effectively govern this, I estimate between 15 and 20 billion to build it out in the cloud, let alone on their own infrastructure. So I don't see it possible.
It's tough to do, right? So I guess, kind of the bottom line here is just be on the lookout. Right? Be on the lookout for these scams. It is a real thing. And also, we have an app that we actually like to use. It's called Robokiller. And Ben, what is, kind of tell them what Robokiller is real quick.
So the thing that's great about Robokiller is it's an app that's AI driven, and when someone a known Robocaller calls your cell phone, it pins up that call with an AI bot that totally trolls them, and they have a lot of different funny profiles, and we recommend you guys check it out.
And congratulations, you'll no longer be annoyed by them. You are now the troller instead of the trollee.
That's right.
Okay, people of the internet, thanks for watching. That's our show for today. I hope you guys learned a lot of cool, interesting stuff. If you have anything you want us to cover on our next edition of our Weekly-ISH Talking Enterprise Tech, be sure to let us know in the comments section below.
That's right. If you loved our stories, hit the like button. If you hated them, hit the like button. If you find our faces extremely punchable, hit the like button.
Love you guys.